guess bougie hotels don't have refrigerators? I don't know. Rich people don't need to bring their own food with them, I guess. I have this whole thing. I was so excited for this layover because everybody talks about this hotel, how it's like the nicest hotel we stay in. I've never been to Austin before, so I was obviously really excited to come to Austin and explore. But now, I'm gonna have to go fill up my little old-fashioned, this thing, I'm gonna have to go fill this up with ice, and then maybe if you know how they give those like laundry bags out sometimes, I'm gonna have to fill that up with ice too and put it in here because I have 2 meals that I refuse to let go to waste. Like, I refuse to. Did I DoorDash something? Yes, but that's besides the point. I'm actually really excited for this DoorDash. I'm so hungry though. It's almost 11 p.m. I've only been in my room for like 15 minutes, not even. I literally have been in my room long enough to order DoorDash and now put my stuff away. So maybe I'll change and then go down, get some ice. And then by the time that's done, hopefully my DoorDash is gonna be here. I did what I said I was gonna do. I got the bag of ice in the laundry bag. There's only one ice machine in this whole hotel. I don't stay in rich hotels very often, that's all I'm saying. Also, please, I know I'm sitting on the ground of a hotel floor, which is repulsive, but after you've been working for like 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, you just, no explanation needed. And then I also filled this up with ice. So I'm just gonna stick that in here. I don't think this is gonna leak, so I'm not as concerned about putting it in the tub like I did last time, but maybe I'll put it on, there's like wood or tile flooring over there, so that sounds smarter. It's really late. It's 12:47. I did get my DoorDash. I got it from this place called Moon Bowls. I'd never heard of it before, but it's like Korean barbecue bowls, and it was actually really good. I also got to get a LaCroix, sorry for being obnoxious. And then they sold this brand, Sweet Loren's edible cookie dough. I can find this at my local grocery store and I make cookies out of it. It's really good, but I don't do it very often because I have no self-control, so I will eat literally all 12 cookies from the pack. But it was kind of cute to get that as a dessert. Today we went Salt Lake to Atlanta to Austin, but we ended up having a 3.5 hour sit in Atlanta. It was only supposed to be a 3-hour sit, like 3-hour turn time in between landing and taking off again. But there was a little bit of a delay with our flight to Austin, and I don't know exactly why. All I know is our plane that we were taking out came in late. So I don't know if it was weather. I didn't even check where it was coming from at that point. When you have a long enough sit, like your brain starts to shut down in the sense of like you could take a nap, like you're tired, you want to be done for the day because you get way out of the momentum of working. And so once I heard about the delay, I was like, whatever. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I didn't even look into it, which I could have. I am A on this trip. Thankfully, I'm back to my A line. I have 2 other trips this month. They're both A line. Thankfully, I'm flight leader. I actually do have 1 turn this month. It's an Atlanta turn, but I really want to get rid of it or swap it for something different. I have it on my schedule because last month I had the most awful lean over. No, you know what? That's not what it was. I did a lean over, and then I didn't get scheduled anything the rest of that day, and it was my reserve days. But then for the following morning, I had a 5 a.m. report turn, and I posted on Facebook swap groups. I was like, you don't understand. I will literally get no sleep because after coming back from the lean over, I then obviously slept. I took like a 3-hour nap from probably like 10 to 1 or something like that. Do you think I was gonna be able to fall asleep again at like 8 p.m. to get a proper amount of sleep to then wake up at 3 a.m. to get to the airport by 5? No freaking chance. So I remember I posted on this Facebook group, I was like, please, like I will literally take a turn or I will swap it for anything. Somebody was like, will you swap it for a lean over or turn next month? And I said, absolutely, I'll swap it for a turn next month. I sent them my schedule to show them my open days and we figured it out. Boom, done. But I don't want that turn. I either want to swap it for something like a good 2-day or even a 3-day, or I want to drop it. Only because I work a 3-day trip and then the next day is that turn, and I don't like working that many days straight when I'm not commuting. When I was a commuter, that's a good thing to do. When I'm not a commuter, it's like, no, I want to go home. Back to this trip though. So we had the 2 legs today, and then tomorrow we work 1 leg to JFK. Then we have a 15-hour layover in JFK. And then on day 3, we just work 1 leg JFK to Salt Lake. The thing is, I'm pretty sure a lot of airlines are like this because New York City is a place in and of itself. We have 3 different layover locations depending on the length of the layover. So the one I'm at most of the time is our long stay layover. Obviously that is in downtown. It's in Manhattan. It's in the heart of New York City. And then we have a medium stay, and I think it's approximately anywhere between, if your layover is 15:01 through 16:59, so that 2-hour window. So if your layover is basically in between 15 and 17 hours, you'll stay at the medium length one, which is still really close to the city. It's a good location. It's really close to the city. It's really easy to get into the city. But if your layover is 14:59 or less, you stay in the short stay, which is right next to, I mean, like it's close to JFK. But it's a 15-hour layover, and I don't think our pickup is going to be till like 2:40. If I can, and this is a big if I can get myself to wake up in time at a reasonable hour, I'm gonna pick one thing to go do in the city, and I'll take the subway and go do it. As of tomorrow, in Austin, Texas, I've never been. I actually have not made any plans. I'm sure I will find somewhere to eat lunch, probably like a late lunch. There's one thing I do want to do, and it's a bookstore. I just read The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas, and I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. It's like a historical fiction horror with like a little bit of, it's got romance in it too. I was gonna say a little bit of romance, but I would say it's like kind of integral to the plot. And then come to find out, this is the same author who wrote a book that I've been wanting to read for a while that came out last year that's called The Hacienda, which everyone says is like Crimson Peak vibes, like hardcore, and that's one of my favorite movies. So I love the horror, I love the historical fiction aspect, and I love throwing romance in with those 2 genres, like especially horror. I love if there's romance involved in horror. I don't know what it is, it's a gothic romance girly in me, okay? But I checked online and this store says it has it, but Amazon is saying it's gonna take like 2 weeks to get to me, and the Barnes and Nobles in my area are not, they're not available there. So I might go check out this bookstore if it's close by. The issue is it's literally supposed to be 103 degrees tomorrow, but at this point it's almost 1 a.m., which means I probably won't be falling asleep till 2. Our pickup tomorrow is 5, I have it on my key card, 5:37, which is not that bad. Like I have plenty of time. It's a 20-hour layover, so I have plenty of time. I'm gonna get ready for bed though. I might just like lay in bed and read till I fall asleep. I've also been watching the show Killing Eve. Did anyone watch that with Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer? My sister watched it and she was like, you need to watch this, you need to watch this. And it's a show I've wanted to watch this whole time. I just never committed to it. Shows are scary for me to commit to. I don't know why. I could watch a movie, but shows, it's just a lot of time and effort you're putting in something. I knew I would like it though. I just never had the time for it, but I love it now. I'm almost done. It's not a very long show. It's not a lot of episodes, but yeah. So maybe I'll watch that or read, we'll see. But it's time to get ready for bed. It's time for me to head out. I didn't even bother putting makeup on. I just put eyebrows on and mascara because it's supposed to be 103 degrees today. That's the high here in Austin. Hopefully I'll be back in my room before that. It is 12:10. It is 94 degrees. I wanted to maybe get a coffee or a smoothie or something along those lines. I would like caffeine though, so I'm like, is there a smoothie with caffeine in it anywhere around here? And then that bookstore I mentioned last night, and then I don't know, we'll see. I would probably like to explore for like 3 hours. Pickup is 5:30, so I mean, it's super hot. I might need to shower after exploring, so I might have to get in the room a little bit earlier, but we shall see. Let's go about our day. he was a little bit insane. I am back. It is 4:14. Pickup is in an hour and 20-ish minutes. I can feel the air conditioning directly on me, which is so nice because I am sweaty everywhere. It's 101 outside and I just walked a little over a mile from where I was. So I did go to the Book People bookstore, which you saw clips of obviously, and then I popped into the Whole Foods, which was like kind of across the street. They had this like restaurant in there, I forget what it was called, like not Beyond Burger, that's the brand, Next Level Burger. And I don't know, I think they have other locations of it, but this one was just inside of the Whole Foods. So I got this like vegan chicken sandwich thingy and then I walked back. I was going to try to do one more thing. The issue is on these layovers, the thing that you can do in like a city is shop. And the amount of money I've been spending in September is a little outrageous. It all started with Labor Day weekend deals and it's just escalated from there. So I'm really trying to pull back. I did, however, walk out of there with 2 books from the bookstore, the Book People, which, funny story by the way, I am walking there and there's a sign on the door that says the Matthew McConaughey event is lining up on the street. Like it was Matthew McConaughey event. So then I Googled it and I was like, what in the heck? Matthew McConaughey was there about 30 minutes before I was. He was there from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. He was doing a book signing and like a book event. I think he had like a children's book come out or something like that. And so he was doing like a meet and greet and a signing. And so I somehow missed him by 30 minutes, which is hilarious. Not that I could have gone, it was like a ticketed only event and I did not have a ticket, so, and it was sold out, so it doesn't matter, but I just thought it was funny. I bought The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I do not know how to pronounce that perfectly. I read Never Let Me Go back in like April by this author. That was like, I could not, first of all, I could not stop reading. Second of all, it was like so heart-wrenchingly, heartbreakingly beautiful, but also tragic, and it was fascinating, and the writing was so compelling. So I'm excited to read this because I know that this is another, I mean, it's a Nobel Prize book, and it's about a butler who takes his very first vacation ever away from the family he works for, and it takes place in 1950s England, I believe. And so I think it's a very like speculative journey for him. I think since he's worked, this character, work is all he's ever known, and this family is all he's ever known, and I think he used to like glorify this family, and I think he learns things along this journey, both literal journey as well as like a metaphorical journey that he goes on, that maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be and stuff like that. I just love like anything that dives deep into human complexities and emotions and all of that. I don't need to blab on, but I am excited to read this. I'm pretty sure I can get through it pretty fast, kind of like I did with Never Let Me Go, because the writing was, I just couldn't put it down. It was so compelling. It almost had this like magical realism feel to it, even though it wasn't magical realism. Anyways, yeah. And then I just bought this Penguin Classic. Oh, I didn't realize I bought one that was slightly damaged. It's fine. Anyways, it's just Dark Tales by Shirley Jackson. It's got like maybe 10 stories in here that she's written. More, probably 15. And I want to read Frankenstein so bad, actually. I want to be a Shirley Jackson stan. I've never read Shirley Jackson. I did not have to read Frankenstein in high school, so I didn't have that in like my literature journey, I guess, if you will. But I feel like I would vibe. I just really do. So I want to read this, and I feel like it'll be a good, I actually have read one Shirley Jackson story, or it was like 3 stories in a small book, so that's wrong. I have read that and I did like that, but I want to do this and then I want to read Frankenstein. The book I was looking for, if you remember the book I was talking about, the book I was looking for was not there. The other book that I just read by that same author, Vampires of El Norte, they had like 12 copies of those. Like there was endless amounts of copies of those, which makes sense because it just came out like 3 weeks ago. But on the website, it said it was in stock, so it's fine. I do have that order of the book coming in from Amazon, but I have no idea when it's coming in. I just really want to get to it because it's definitely an October or like September, October spooky season book, so I want it to come soon so I can read it. I did not obviously get a workout in today. I was a little bit slow getting out of bed. I went to bed at 2 a.m. and I still had trouble sleeping like I was so tired, obviously, after 2 nights in a row of like only 4 hours of sleep. But I don't know, like if something's going on. I mean, I always have trouble sleeping, but it's gotten a little worse this last week or so. So hopefully I can fall asleep at a normal hour tonight and get some good sleep. But I did walk, I would say, like, I think at least 2.5 miles. Let's see. It says my total distance today was 3.4 miles already, but obviously that includes like walking around the store for like 2 hours, which I did. My outdoor walk distance was 2.65. So even though I couldn't get a workout in, I still burned 350 calories so far and like was exercising for over an hour. So I'm not mad about it. I just wish I could have worked out. But when I walk, I like fast walk because I do not know how to slow down, because I'm a little crazy. I need to slow down, but I don't know how. Anyway, today's my dad's birthday. I wish I was at home with my dad, but I'm working, which is okay. I'm gonna see him in, I think, like 4 days. Something very exciting is happening this coming Friday. Somebody very important to me went to flight attendant training and is graduating on Friday. So I'm really excited to go to that graduation, obviously. And yeah, I'll obviously vlog as much as I can. Well, my location didn't change, even though I left and came back. Our flight got canceled. I will explain later, but I am in the same hotel room, different room, same hotel. Thankfully, this one has a fridge, thank heavens. So I will explain in just a moment. I will explain what happened. So it's really late and I need to go to bed. I did order Voodoo Donuts for pickup tomorrow morning at 10:15. It is 2 a.m. I need to fall asleep as quickly as possible. Basically, I'm just gonna run out, get the donuts, come back, finish getting ready, and go to pick up. Our departure is 12:43 p.m. tomorrow, so pickup is 11:23. Basically, long story short, there's been a ground stop on and off all day today at JFK. There's 4 flights that go from Austin to JFK a day. One is the early morning flight that was canceled. It's a 7 a.m. flight, was canceled. The next one is like a 1 p.m. something. That one went out, but then was diverted to Dayton, Ohio, I believe. And then there's a 5-ish p.m., no, a 4-ish p.m., I think. And that one was delayed. And then the one we were supposed to work was 6:40-ish or something like that. And so when we showed up to the airport, the one that was supposed to have left a few hours before ours had been delayed, and it pushed back. They came back to the gate because of the weather and the ground stop. The tower in New York told them they couldn't come, so they had to go back to the gate. So when we show up, we hear all this going on. So our gate agent, when we show up, she tells us that we might have additional passengers on board due to that flight being returned back to the gate. And so then I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that's if we even get out of here. We go down to the plane, we put all our bags away, we're waiting on word. Our captain is messaging. Basically, we find out that the ground stop is still going on. Then we get a message on like our messaging app system that says, unfortunately, this flight will likely cancel due to the ground stop in JFK. And then like 10 minutes later, it cancels. We kind of sat at the airport waiting on information. When stuff like this happens, sometimes it can take scheduling, unfortunately, very long to get to us, just due to the irregular operations. They call them IROPS. Due to IROPS, they have obviously a much larger volume of calls coming in. So yeah, sometimes it can take them longer to get to us. Eventually, we obviously heard from them. There weren't really any other flights going out of Austin that they could put us on. Also, that flight that had been delayed, that pushed back and came back to the gate, technically it had not been canceled. Everyone did deplane, but it had not been canceled. We thought, oh, maybe we'll have to work that depending on the crew situation for that, but eventually that one canceled too. So 3 out of the 4 JFK flights out of Austin today canceled. One didn't make it. They diverted to Dayton, Ohio. So it's not great. JFK was a disaster today. I have friends that worked at a JFK that couldn't leave JFK, and so yeah, it wasn't great. So yeah, that is why we ended up back here. I feel like the summer weather has been so insane, like way more crazy than way crazier than last summer. And I feel like almost every single trip I have been rerouted due to weather, and then I end up on a deadhead back to Salt Lake. Like, I feel like that's happening every other trip, which I'm not complaining, because obviously it's nice not to know that I'm not really going to be working. At the same time, the one downside is the fact that I, as the lead flight attendant, I get a few extra bucks an hour, which is another reason why I love it. One of the many reasons I love working lead. But a downside is, if you're ever deadheading, you are not getting that additional lead pay. It's only for like active working legs rather than just like, you know, a deadhead. So that's the only downside is, you know, I'm pay protected for my hours for this whole trip, even though we aren't working as many hours, we're still pay protected for those hours, but I'm not pay protected for that additional flight lead money, because that's more of like a benefit to working flight lead. It's not really like, I guess, a guaranteed flight pay, if that makes sense. So anyways, I need to get ready for bed and then go to bed.